support program for Liberia, the Gambia, and Sierra Leone. 6. Multinational Letter of Agreement Transition Support Facility, TSF, project for digitalization of government payments in the Mano River Union, MRU, the Republic of Sierra Leone. Financing Agreement, West Africa Regional Energy Trade Development Policy Financing Program, Sierra Leone, between the Republic of Sierra Leone and International Development Association. Bill. Honorable Abu S. Mari Conte, Chairman Legislative Committee. 1. Report on the bill entitled the Independent Cohesion for Peace and National Commission for Peace and National Cohesion 2020. 2. Committee stage and third reading. The Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion 2020, the Chief Minister. B. The Cyber Act 2020, Introduction and First Reading. The Minister of Information and Communications. Second reading. Committee stage and the third reading. The Minister of Information and Communications. The Medical Examiners Act 2020, Introduction and First Reading. The Minister of Internal Affairs. Second reading. Committee stage and third reading. The Minister of Internal Affairs. Statement by the Minister of Basic and Secondary Schools Education on the status of education and the recently published WASS results. The date will be communicated by Mr. Speaker for that particular hearing. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Announcements. Members of the Legislative Committee and the Committee on Public and Political Affairs are invited to a select committee hearing on the bill entitled the Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion Act 2020 on Thursday, 26 November at 10 a.m. in Committee Room Number 1. All honorable chairpersons and clerks of the sub-appropriation committees, that is the sectorial committees of supply of Parliament, are invited to a very important meeting tomorrow, Thursday, 26 November, in Committee Room 1 at noon.
Thank you. Eso, yes.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I rise on SO 23 to draw the attention of the House on an issue which I consider to be an outbreak that is affecting our people in this country. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I'm sure all of us must have been aware of the unprecedented prevalence of champions, otherwise called Nairobi flies, in the country. And they are most prevalent in places like Maboka, Makeni, and even in Freetown now, Mr. Speaker. Even as we speak here, there are members of Parliament that have been affected with that. And I do believe, Mr. Speaker, this is an issue we need to invite the Minister of Health to draw his attention to that, because this is posing a very serious threat on not only adults, but even our children and the general populace in this country. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much for bringing that to our attention. Honorable members, you recall order. The information that we just received from the honorable member is important. It reminds all of us of the proactive position that we took with regard to COVID-19. We were able to foresee the problems ahead and invited the ministers of health, internal affairs, if I remember rightly, and defense. That's right. Thank you for the correction. So equally, I think it's important we take note of the information our colleague has just presented, and to say we do take note and will make appropriate arrangements to summon the relevant ministers to engage in a conversation with Parliament in due course. Having said...
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Also, let me draw your attention to a statement you made here in the Well of Parliament relating to the fumigation of the well. Mr. Speaker,
I was visited by quite a number of them.
let me finish, Mr. Speaker. It is embarrassing that we come to this house, to this well, on a daily basis, with roaches being our partners. When I say partners,
your point is made. Your point is made.
Mr. Speaker, let that be, because
I hereby direct the administration to take all appropriate measures to ensure that the well and other relevant offices of Parliament are fumigated. Within the next week. Fortunately, we will not be using this well for the next 6 days or 7 days or more. That said, we stand adjourned to the 8th of December. That the committee of supply will get into action as from Monday for a period of 6 days. And on that same date, I hereby give notice, the 8th that is, we shall receive the Minister of Basic and Secondary Education to engage him in a conversation, as we already indicated, relating to the WASC examination. We shall engage him in the morning before we commence with the business of the day, which is the report of the Committee of Supply. So with that, we stand adjourned to the 8th of December at 10 a.m.
All right.
To read the Well of Parliament, and of course the parliamentarian, the debates, the budget, and according to law, the budget supposed to last for about 5 days, but them come to consensus for able to get the budget for Duam within 3 days. Well, we get, of course, Honorable Lenayawe, of course, the Honorable for C4C, Honorable Sir Emerson. Welcome to SABC.
Thank you very much.
Just tell me, what thing come out of this 3 days budget debate?
Yeah, definitely. For the past 3 days, Parliament will debate the 2021 Finance Act, and today at the conclusion, we don't come to the conclusion. We realize fine things in the Act. We also realize a little weeks ahead. Notwithstanding, I would tell you, say the 2021 budget is sweet. How is sweet? Because you look at poverty-related issues. At the same time, also look at human development capacity building issues. These are the two things where they almost 202 paragraphs look at for this for 2021 where they come.
So, in other words, something that they will actually not satisfied with.
Definitely. You look at poverty-related issues then. You see, two for deal with well body business, two for do school planning business, two for do road business, water business, agriculture business. And when I look at the budget, government they spend so much and don't know money, they go so much on that, but in return, government they get absolutely nothing from them saying they. That's so challenging. We also look at capacity building issues and you see pay rise get for huge in 2021 because salary like ONS, salary like Fire Force, salary like prisons, salary like police, salary like soldier, they all get for get pay rise, you know, in 2021. And even technical and higher education staff line, they don't forget pay rise. This is a huge challenge all they face at 2021.
Thank you very much.
The pleasure.
Thank you very much. Well, make I talk to the Deputy Minister, Ideaso, with me. May actually, Ideaso. Good afternoon, Madam.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Of course, you witnessed the debates on the budget. Tell me so far how you see the debates go on this budget.
Well, this year's debate is actually more stable in the sense that when we came in 2018, the intensity of the debates that we experienced in 2018 is somewhat it's not what it was.
Okay, some of the talk, some of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when we first came 2018, then me tell we say how we budget na cut-based budget. This budget na criminal budget because that's we did by the Commission of Inquiry been just start. The APC people then they say how for throw we budget. They no one you remember. They never want listen to we budget. How for put we budget na dirty box. But at least today, this week, we will listen to the different MP then, waiting and say about the budget. I think so. We they really do something right for we people in this country. Okay? They're all glad for the human capital development agenda. What is the human capital? This corona. Where corona happened, not to like Ebola and walk people in that. The corona, and I don't need on so. At least, alhamdulillah. Boko people they know that. We tell God thank you for that. The number of fatality then. Boko people they know that. Two, they begin the way they go school. Okay, then they fine. Also, we need for improve the pass rate, but at least now more picking they go school. And also now we will get this new Ministry of Gender. But then girl picking there. The woman they were in our parliament, the female MP in our parliament. Then say we for do more. And me na woman minister. Me no go there, me na woman minister, and not help me sister there, with mama there, with granny there, with pikin there. It mean if now one minister, now this government, where they fetch for woman there, I believe say that person there na me. Okay? The third thing where people then talk about now agriculture.
Yeah.
They say okay, fine, boku tractor, then nonka, the young man and all don't go na this youth farm. How then go they lend the tractor then? Once in a private sector business, the people that will go to operate the tractor there, they go and make money. How the popo farmer then go able to afford, the tractor there for plow them, farm them. How we go to distribute the fertilizer then, the seed them, all that they talk about. But so far today we had coal. Because all man of parliament, the APC, MP, the C4C, or NGC, SLPP, they're all glad with the budget. And one thing we don't help with the fact say, each year they can, the same thing now they bring on our parliament, they focus on health, education, cash transfer, social protection for the most, they're the way they suffer. Okay. Then with agriculture.
All right. So in a nutshell, we are happy about the debates waiting come out of it.
Yes, we're glad. I think to say all money had school. At least because this corona, and I don't so. At least Boko people they know die. Ebola tell the number of people that were die. So we tell God thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Minister.
Okay.
All right, okay. With me, I get one of the opposition, where of course the NGC, of course, gets the Honorable Kande Yumkela. Welcome to SABC, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course, you one of your contribution to me very interesting. I mean, I listen actually on waiting, but on a whole, tell me, actually, people that listen to you, what can come out of this budget?
Well, we get a very good, frank debate with the government. First of all, we all tell God thank you, because remember, the budget, the discussion, they take place under the COVID problem, and that they be all over the world. All man worry about the economy because of COVID. So we want to tell Papa God thank you, say we young country even today, then say we now one of the country that will get the lowest rate. But you see why we wear a mask. Yes. The minister from COVID, the NACOVAC, advise we say do ya let we still dey observe social distancing so let the economy no go come bad again or begin to lock down.
Okay.
Having said that, na that make we been worry small.
Yeah.
But the budget wo yeri government get but in the way they one can do back.
Okay.
So yeri will say, but we say they pull the money. Because we will not see the mining sector they move yet. We know say the other country they hold the hub open China, Europe and then side and the economy then still slow because of COVID. So we just caution the government say be conservative small. Number two, we also want to help the government for avoid this situation where they cut here, put here, dig hole, cover hole, meaning waiting. We know say we all know that say Bokuten and they will approve money, say ministry for get certain money, but then they get their money quick. If your money don't late 2 quarters, it already mess you up for the year, not so.
Yeah.
We know say Sunday school and the subsidy they reach quick. Because we believe say still the economy get problems, they grow fast. The government says put in the documents say the economy get for contract by 2.8%. So we caution the government say if that's get for be, not try for promise too much.
Okay.
They want them where you don't hire, where they begin pay them on time. Like now we'll get the staff association and the strike.
Yeah.
If they try for spend more other side way enough money no day, you get for the cut here, put here, they go cover hole. So now that's one thing we'll caution for. But we'll praise them for some other thing there. Like with some of the waiting I want to do in agriculture, this rice value chain.
Okay.
If we're able to address that one day, then use the money properly, then Toma Boom Cambia will go able to feed this country. But again, if they not politicize the program, if they do incorrect, that's going to really help this country. That will be one program we didn't get it. The other one, some of we advocate strongly for women. You hear what the fight for women. In fact, even they say 30% of elected position in public offices for keep on for them. Then in a bill where we don't send a parliament now a number of we work on that one day. Because we don't see other country the way advance, woman them position be matter. Woman then get sorry out, woman not the chap money like some of we demand them. And we don't see say when they in a certain positions, and we they say you need for do that affirmative action for them if you really want for later able day in governance.
All right. Okay, so in a nutshell, I mean, it's a good debate and it's a good budget.
Well, it's a good debate.
Yeah.
With again a lot of things it depends on implementation. How we go implement them, if we go raise the revenues in time for release in time. We talk a lot about education.
Yeah.
And you see, say, we move, or we invite the Minister of Education now, because they put boku money inside education. But the problem then with the education, not a money problem no more.
Okay.
Now problem with something don't they for many years, we if we not address as a nation go be problem. You know, say that they come up from boku MP
Yes,
then,
yes.
and where the speaker said don't agree, say we invite the minister. Let we talk. Let we see how we go help. This is not societal problem. Parents, we the MP, we all get problem hand for play on this. So now we no go be partisan.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
I
you so
appreciate
much.
it, sir. All right, I get the Honorable Hassan Prince of ACC. All right, of the All People's.
Well, now rather a mixed bag. The budget, we don't condemn a wholesale because you get some. Normally, a budget is just the estimate and projections and what they expect to achieve over a period of time, what they want to spend here and there, And the highlighted things then, fine, they sound good, but sometimes we always say there is a reason, there is a difference between what you put on paper and what is the reality on the ground.
Okay.
Now, when they talk about reality, how it impact the general populace, the people they would represent na the well of parliament, now they make it there. And the reason it's easy when we talk so is that if we talk about inflation, there is no way where inflation will arrest them, then price can continue to go up. They expect say you don't correct inflationary trends. No, that is definitely no. So sometimes we can say textbook economic no go. Let us come to realistic economics, whereby what they talk and what the people in the realize that ground is commendable. Also, you look at the balance of the deficit. The deficit, that is how much we import as against how much we export. We're still not able move or export base aid. We're not able to expand that aid because we know that with the iron ore. And till now, nothing will happen in that sector aid. But now they import much more than we export. So that deficit there, that is the difference between the money what they use for export and the money they use for import. We get for correct all the deficit. So all of it, they can say certain areas and they way, yes, you will commend them because of the initiative Like agriculture, we all go comment on it because one thing we need for address now for how we go able increase agricultural productivity, we go also ease the pressure on the demand for foreign currency. When it is the demand for foreign currency, definitely it dey make say foreign currency go be available, and then with the pressure go down on the exchange rate. When that dey happen, it dey make the value of the dollar, the bullion, it dey go up, and we dey pay less for the dollar. But as long as it continue for go up, and that they can only because we dey import much more than we dey export. So we get for increase, improve na that area then dey. But of course, the intention, sometimes the intent is good, but it is how it is being actualized. Now that's not the point. Now in make we can comment on some of these issues. Not that we as an opposition will for correct the governing party so that then correct the situation here, let them take them in good faith and know say we all care for the country. Because this country now we all own country, and we know say if it gets better, we all get better, and the people represent they get better. But now look at the price of rice. Even from last year they read budget to this year, you look at the price of rice, it don't go up. So how are we arresting inflation? So some of the figures then sometimes they don't reflect the reality on the ground, and that is why we comment.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable. Thank you very much, sir. All right. Okay. Well, I will talk to the leader of government business, the Honorable Sir Numa, Matthew San Numa. All right, sir. Welcome to SABC, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right. Now, of course, this budget debates, although because some MPs they say it's supposed to be a 5 days debate, but we're not put it down to 3 days. But however, we're not able to achieve what you want to achieve in this debate.
Yeah, thank you very much. We move a motion, Parliament by procedure. Not for say we do anything out of the box. I had all day we move the motion, and the motion was carried. We accept say it all done for 3 days. It don't be so for the past how many years? Last Parliament, all the debate they would look at budget. 3 days we did one. Normally, the United Standing Orders we have 5 days. So we move a motion. We're in a law. We don't agree with our amendment to 3 days. So, but we still say there are exuberance for making them go debate. And we say we look happy for see that kind of thing in there. We get tell and say we're the patient, we cannot go back. We have moved the motion, the parliamentary decision, and we regret why in fact we moved the motion, and we encourage and say the budget program is a continuous process. If I'm not for suggestion, I don't announce some agreement. They can take all that view into that agreement to get a debate. It's a continuous process. We get a report to come, they still get chance for debate. So we even they say we're going to cover more. But once it thanks to them, specifically because we don't carry this program live, that if I do make the MP then be enthusiastic for making them go come into the debate. So we achieve for put the message across. At least we get we all mind view them. So we achieve for more to put the message across on whether they criticize in one, whether they support in one, whether they give in reservation or certain areas in one. So the objective of let people will get the views. We feature come, say about 60% of the MPs will debate, when they behind debate. We check the statistics. So we are happy for that, and we gladly we, as I say, we wanna cover this one. Let the people that know say we say the people's budget, the people there for area and for the part of the budget.
Okay, so what can come out of this 3 days debate?
It's very good. We're able to look at the debate in different forms. One, for analyze the COVID-19, because this is a pandemic. The global economy in crash. With the CO2 that happen all over the world, it don't crash. And we for able to see things that with the government, the ministry that they come up with, we for make sure say this economy not go hit with some kind of way people then will be back for a living. And we don't see say that not go happen because the QAPT, where they call the quick action economic recovery programs, it don't take some effect because the indicators the way they did the budget, it was very clear. Then you see whether they give money to people, the disabled people, then give to health workers, and take relax some taxes on basic food items. We see that Bank of Salon they give money, we give as loan to commercial entities, but they roll out. The money the way they roll out now for make them ensure say people they will withstand the pandemic, and we don't see the effect on that. And the benchmarks don't show we say based on that we put contraction estimate projection what they do under the macroeconomic performance of the budget 2020. We see a drop. If you remember, forget 3.1%, we get 2.8%. We don't put all them under the quick action COVID programs there. They don't put all in place. We see it only takes some effect. So in that vein, we're happy for them because we see some leap. What challenges in there? For example, the import and the exports. We find for say a drop in both ways. Them. We look at the import, a drop. It is the same way in 2019. The export the same way in 2019. It happened in the first step of 2020. So those are the challenges the way what we say we for record with. And it also talk about the trade deficit. If we talk about trade deficit, you get for no say you get for involved in some trades, we forget some over. But that's not the challenge because of the present day situation. But they're able to bring out some kind of recovery plans and for make sure say the economy come back to normal. They give some projections and they give what we call the outlooks and the recovery plan. A good way to talk about something when a problem, you find a solution. So they say with all this will happen, that they expect a growth again in the economy. 2021, they are very strong. There's a strong growth. So we look up to that for me happen under the budget outlooks. We also talk about budgetary performance. One day we talk about domestic revenue. First, in the first period they do, then they project before the COVID. They say we go get 4.7 trillion. And that be as people collect the domestic revenue.
But then they will meet up.
They review them back.
Okay.
As COVID hit, now they got a review. They revise the whole process. And when they revise that, they find out for say they able collect 4.1 trillion. You don't understand it? And waiting have been target at 4.0 trillion. So they're able to make a net profit in that particular collection of 59 billion with a 9.9% revenue of 9% of GDP. We then collect. So we see why when they happen, I still refer to the quick action economic recovery plan. Then that because they stimulate the economy. You don't understand. And if they continue to do this, all things will make constant. We look at the variable parameters for come to normalcy. We find out for say there is a route. But if we see the pandemic take another trend, we will see some problem. And the other thing, the social mobilization. We all need to talk about in this situation. They make provision for that. People with disability, they even provide for women, they will support them. All of the factors there, they make we go understand, say, we get issues them. The budget, then try for be realistic, for the post-COVID. They try to understand, say, within the COVID, they can't inside for pushing certain areas there. They really give money then to the tourism sector. So all of these things it come to play. And why I say we achieve all of these to talk better.
Yeah.
So people they really, and that was a good one. And the challenges that we feel so often reckon with. I'm glad the issue of education we all agree say it should be politicized. And we are happy for that. And we believe say we take up from there what we call a flagship program. Education and make all this today. And if we believe and we push the educational sector, if probably not the education, we all for come together for system solver. Nobody at this moment not able to pinpoint the actual cause of the massive failure or the abysmal performance of a Pekin. But what we for do, we all for sit down again for do an investigation and come out with the real factors we made the result of the abysmal.
Right, so thank you very much, Honorable. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
God bless.
All right, okay. Well, I deal with the leader of the opposition, the Honorable Chegno Majuba. You're welcome to SABC, sir.
Thank you very much.
From listening, of course, you're going to make some points. Of course, I've been hearing some admiring on your leadership, but in the debates, of the budget. But you've been raised few issues then. One or two of the issues that they will raise. Which thing are they on?
Well, basically, firstly, I want to tell you plenty thank you for the time one I spent during the course of the week because we not just make we see ourselves on TV in Yaso, but we give the wider the public an opportunity to follow the debate because not all man will become parliament and people and they will even out of freedom, but because they access to them follow the debate. So one for telling plenty thank you for that. And other media outlets then we also join on for push the visibility. Basically, one thing we I see during the debate and Yusuf may observe is that the budget now for we all benefit. They don't get green or red param, they don't get blue or pink. It's now for Salon and for Sierra Leoneans. So if the budget's good and it work, we all go benefit. But if it not work, then we all go suffer. So, but few areas in the way we touch on. But key amongst them have to do with education. As the leader of government business say, we all agree, say we not for politicize education. Now make as a parliament, and for we at the APC, even as a party, we always don't support the president in flagship program of quality and free education. We don't get it free, to which extent again, as the leader said, the government says some. But beyond that also, we dey move towards quality. But as the leader say, now all man they assume what are the problems and for them bad results here what they see. Nobody able to confirm. But definitely we not agree and we not still agree saying that because people they spy or they may spy, they don't get a chance for spy. Because me, you know, so we all to go school and not to spy we take reach to with this so. So you should see you get plenty sharp and good Sierra them. With outweigh the one that we not be able to get that kind of same kind of output. So we need for address and try to identify the actual challenges so that we're able to address the issues. You see, I give the example, when we be in school, I go from 1 to 5, then I go up lower and upper 6. So when I go college, I go first year straight and I go prelim. But for somebody just 6 years in school, and considering the age, the level of maturity and experience, coupled with all the things that we don't happen from 1991 to now, from the war, rebel war, to Ebola, now to Corona, we need to go back to the drawing board and try to identify the challenges. And we ask that nobody not politicize them because we, as I said today, the Professor Bamanja Commission, where President Nkrumah then been set up, now be non-political body. Now, but people that we know about education and then sit down, they identify the flaws and decide say, no, we need for add 1 more year, for give space and more room for people to perform. And then first 2 years and then we see what happened. But now these are the assassins are the first testers. But I also talk about infrastructure. The wage bill, the minister don't tell me I say indeed yes the increase the wage bill they increase. But the reason where it give where is that because they increase salaries every year or the currency and other things where they into play. Then are just one of the reasons. Now make I ask them, what about the institutions the way by 2018 April we left 200 and something people, 100 and something, now they pass 500-600. And the offices may still function. What happen now? What are the reason for the influx? We hope not to jump for just the boys and the girls. So and we don't want them put the Ministry of Finance under too much pressure. So the need for the on top situation. And if they're not able to save money on their side, then they go difficult for execute infrastructural projects. You remember the last time we will use local revenue for do some infrastructural projects. And lead me to the Lunge program I talk about. The access, say no to new terminal we need. Because access not the problem with Lunge. You know, but generally, by and large, my proposal. This is what the government they expect for raise and do next year, and we don't commit to serve as a parliament for support them and help them for achieve the objective. Now we don't tell them say then for they come back to we at least to the chair of the Committee on Finance for the tell about the budget.
Thank you very much, Honorable.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, now so we go. Round up Fambolem. The 3 days debate will take place at the House of Parliament on the budget for the 2020-2021. Of course, like a proposal, waiting government hope for due the next coming year. So they don't project that so that they go able for achieve that, get the money and do them. Well, that's so we go put the curtain down for Teluna Tenki, as SLBC always they bring on a live of events them when they take place now the country. On behalf of the management and staff of the SLBC, and of course my colleague them William So, David Williams and Kamaya, I get Biose Stanley, Joseph Toure, and of course me Sheku Kama, and my technical man Alex Sisse. Well, until we meet back again, Mina then must say, and then they hand on over to New England Vale for that we continue the day's broadcast. Thank you very much and bye bye.